Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about phonemic awareness and rhythmic awareness and the overlap between them. For years we've been told that more phonics equates to better reading outcomes, that more drills will build more speed and more automaticity. But what if the missing piece isn't more drills but more rhythm? Research across decades shows that the answer is actually very subtle. A child's sensitivity to rhythm is deeply connected to their ability to discern phonemes. These are the smallest units of sound that form the foundation of reading. And this connection may hold the key to helping every child read with ease, fluency, and understanding. Researchers have known for many years that phonemic awareness and rhythmic awareness are correlated. A child with sensitivity to rhythm will also be able to discern phonemes, and a child with weak rhythmic awareness also struggles with phonemic awareness. There is even a long-term effect of these differences. Researchers in one study followed children from age 3 to 9 years of age, and they discovered that the children's sensitivity to rhythm at age 3 did not strongly predict their reading attainment at age 7, but at age 9, when reading becomes more complex, involving multisyllabic words and more sophisticated language structures, the rhythmically sensitive children were performing significantly better. When children are 9, their reading becomes more linguistic, grammatical, multi-layered, and more reliant on prosody and flow. And when children develop rhythmic awareness early on, they are able to respond to the increasing demands of vocabulary and sentence structure with the necessary flexibility and ease. If phonemic and rhythmic awareness are closely correlated, is it possible that explicit training in phonemes can strengthen rhythmic awareness and build fluency so that all children can access richer vocabulary and complex sentences? Literacy policies and interventions have focused heavily on phonics in early reading and also in catch-up programs. Phonics is essential, but despite years of increased emphasis, there is still no evidence that lower attaining readers are better able to read more challenging words, phrases, or sentences. And this raises an important question. If phonemic awareness and rhythmic awareness are so closely connected, can explicit training in phonemes also strengthen rhythmic awareness and therefore reading fluency? And to explore this, we need to examine a common assumption. Rapid response is not the same as fluency. You see, flashcard-based phonics drills rely on rapid, accurate, and synchronized responses to grapheme-phoneme associations. But speed is not fluency, and the difference matters a great deal. So, flashcard drills are a form of rapid response training, which is something we see in many disciplines. In athletes, for example, runners are trained to respond instantly to the starting gun. This is essential for beginning the race. But once the race is underway, it is rhythm, not reaction, that allows the athlete to find their flow, to pace themselves, and to reach their personal best. Reading is the same. We don't need to be on the starting blocks for every letter on the page. Reading requires the flow of language, not a sequence of rapid-fire reactions. It is rhythm within language, consisting of the timing, the phrasing, and the subconscious predictive structure of language that actually supports fluent reading. So why do some children struggle to hear the differences between sounds? Let's consider some similar consonant phonemes. So, for example, b and p, f and th, sh and ch. The only distinguishing feature lies at the front edge, also known as the onset of each sound, and the rest of the sound, as the saying goes, is noise. These similar sounding consonant phonemes are often blended with other consonants by adding an R or an L. So here are some examples of those consonant blends. Br, pr, bl, pl, thr, thr. If a child cannot perceive the front edge of the initial phoneme really clearly, they will have an incomplete perception not only of the initial sound but also of the blend. As more blends are introduced in a phonics program, these perceptual gaps widen. This leads to a really painful situation. We ask children to decode words using sound units that they cannot fully perceive, and it's like asking them to build a model from Lego when the most important pieces are actually missing from the kit. This seems really unfair, doesn't it? And there's nothing wrong with the child, but the pieces they need are not yet accessible to them. And of course, the child eventually assumes that something is missing in them. The good news is that we can help these children to refine their phonemic awareness using rhythm, because rhythm is a tool that any of us can use to become more specific, more exacting, and more controlled in whatever it is that we want to achieve. And this is why rhythm sharpens a child's sensitivity to the front edge or the onset of each phonemic sound. This is the exact feature that differentiates similar phonemes and blends. And a rhythmically attuned child can anticipate the front edge or onset of each small sound. They can detect subtle contrasts, they can follow the flow of spoken language, and they can organise auditory information far more easily, and even navigate classroom instructions with greater confidence. This rhythmic attunement makes reading feel easier, more natural, less effortful, and more deeply connected to meaning. The missing Lego pieces didn't appear as if by magic. They were actually there all along. It's just that having become rhythmically attuned, the child can now perceive them. So moving from accuracy to ease and from effort to flow is so important. If we want every child to read with ease, fluency, and understanding, we need to move beyond the rapid responses and strengthen the deeper capacities that make reading possible. You see, phonics teaches children to access print, but rhythm helps them to access meaning. When children are rhythmically attuned, they are more sensitive to perceiving the flow of language, and reading becomes more than decoding. It becomes comprehension. If you want to explore this further, I've created a downloadable guide that explains in clear, accessible terms how rhythm and phonemic awareness work together to build confident, fluent readers. And by way of a final reflection, we often assume that reading is built from the outside in. But rhythm reminds us that reading is also built from the inside out through timing, prediction, anticipation, and attunement. When we help children tune into rhythm, we don't just support their reading, we support their ability to listen, to perceive, to understand, and ultimately to learn how to thrive at school and in life.